Well, the Obamacare hoax goes deeper than Jonathan Gruber. It seems the liberal media has been trying to silence critics since day one. That's exactly what Melissa Francis says happened to her while she was at CNBC.
And join us right now with more from our sister network, Fox Business, Melissa Francis. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So what did you say on your show the other day?
You know, when the Gruber tapes came out and we saw him talking about the fact that he was depending on the American voter to not understand the math, it sort of all came together for me, and I was yelling at the television because while I was at CNBC, we were basically part of what happened.
What do you mean?
Well, at the time, you know, I'm trained in economics. I went to Harvard. This is what I do. You know, you looked at the math of Obamacare, and it didn't make sense. You said you can't add millions of people and have it not cost everyone. You can't add people who have pre-existing conditions and not charge more. And maybe folks would still be in favor of it if they knew the facts, but they needed to know the facts. So I would pursue that line of questioning. And after the show one day, I got called up to my manager's office and told that I needed to stop. And I said, why? This is math, not politics.
What did they say?
They said that I was disrespecting the office of the president. That was the exact language.
You mean the president of CNBC or the president of the United States?
Yeah, the president of the United States, who was out campaigning for Obamacare at the time. They said I was disrespecting the office of the president by pursuing this line of questioning and that I needed to stop.
Meaning you were then to interpret that any move forward in that direction was going to result in what?
I mean,
personally,
it didn't get that far. I mean, I was marched upstairs after my show and told, and it happened more than once. It felt like a threat, but you know, they didn't say, "Or you will lose your job." They just said, "Stop."
So they were basically telling you, Melissa, that you were un-American, that you were not being patriotic in terms of your reporting, and what did you think would happen as a result of that going forward? I mean, implicitly, you're going to be fired. You're going to be, somehow acting in a way that's not an American.
You know, I'm ashamed to say I was always a straight-A student. I'm a pleaser, and I didn't like the feeling of having my boss be disappointed in me. You know, it's a competitive environment. There are many
your reaction is natural.
Anchors. Yeah.
So when you saw what they have come out and said now, Gruber and company and all these folks, how does that make you feel?
Terrible.
Because you were right. You were right.
It made me feel terrible that, you know, he was counting on the job of business news, and what we do at Fox Business is to make the dollars and cents of life make sense for people. That's exactly what needed to happen with Obamacare, to say, look, guys, let's do the math and lay it out and know the facts and then make a decision. Maybe we're still in favor of this. Maybe you still want to go ahead, but you have to understand the real facts. And we did not illuminate that.
Going forward from that point, did you pursue the type of questioning that you had prior to the meeting when you were called in by your bosses and said you were basically un-American and harming the president's reputation?
I'm ashamed to say I didn't fight back harder. I mean, I did value my position. It wasn't that long before I left, but I was called in numerous times. I mean, it wasn't just once.
Well, you shouldn't be ashamed.
I was being too
you're
political.
A great reporter and a great anchor, and you were on the right track. And CNBC's denied these charges.
Well, not really. Not really.
Here's what they told the New York Post regarding, you said it's the math didn't work out. CNBC says that's laughable, but we take notice. We're always on the lookout for high-quality comedy writers and actresses. So either they're saying they're either a comedy channel,
right, neither do I,
or they're not denying it.
I mean, it's a classic, very sarcastic lib remark. And notice, you know, they didn't say it's absolutely not true and this didn't happen to her, because I think they know it is true and it happened on more than one occasion. And to make a sarcastic remark about actresses and comedy writers just shows they're laughing at their viewer the same way Jonathan Gruber is laughing at the public.
Well, thank you for having the courage to tell the truth about this, Melissa.
We sure do. Thank you, Melissa.
Don't miss Money with Melissa Francis on the Fox Business Network. To find it in your area, go to foxbusiness.com/channel finder, because as we have learned, she tells you the truth.
That's right.
Real pleasure.
Thanks,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Honored to have you here, Melissa.
Thank you.
Thanks, Melissa.